UK, you're starting once again with Donald Trump's trade war.
Yeah, but the US president is threatening to slap a 200% duty on imports of wine and spirits from the European Union. Mr. Trump accused the bloc of imposing a nasty tariff on bourbons, even though that planned levy is itself a retaliation against his action. Luke Schrager has the latest.
The transatlantic trade spat escalates again, and this time it's alcohol in the firing line.
The European Union has just put a nasty 50% tariff on whiskey. If this tariff is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU-represented countries.
That 50% import duty is itself a response to Donald Trump's own tariffs on steel and aluminium. The European Union stated on Wednesday it would allow levies on 26 billion euros worth of US products previously suspended to come in on April 1st. Despite the mounting trade war, Brussels has left the door open to negotiation.
We are prepared for whatever might come, and we have been preparing for over a year. We want to be very, very clear on this, that the EU is not part of the problem here. And the suggestion that we are part of the problem is deeply misguided. We believe that we should be working with the US to be part of the solution.
EU wine exports to the United States were worth nearly 5 billion euros last year, according to statistics agency Eurostat. Nearly a third of its total wine exports globally, with France and Italy making up the majority. The sector saw a major slowdown last time Donald Trump was in office, with far less extreme tariffs in place. Elsewhere, though, on another front of the trade war, Canadians have come up with their own solution when it comes to alcohol, simply boycotting American spirits, among other products. But in the meantime, Europe's alcohol industry faces an uncertain future.
And you've got Trump's growing trade war could also potentially reshape the lumber industry.
Well, Sharon, the EU's countermeasures announced yesterday targeted US exports from Republican states. Among the items that could face higher tariffs are forest products, such as lumber, plywood, pulp and paper. Industry analysts say up to $1 billion worth of those products could be affected. Now, when it comes to timber and lumber, though, the US is a net importer, according to the White House. It claims the country has the production capacity to meet most of its demand and has itself targeted Canadian wood exports. Canada is a top foreign supplier of lumber to the United States, according to accounting for nearly half of the imports last year. Last August, the US nearly doubled its tariff on the commodity to 14.5%. A planned 25% across-the-board tariff currently suspended would bring it to 39.5%. The Commerce Department has said it plans a separate increase in lumber duty later this year, and that could bring it to 50%. Now, the US National Home Builders Association argues imported lumber is crucial and that such high tariffs would drive up costs and make houses more expensive in the United States. But it's too early really to say how trading patterns in wood products will change globally, but we can see the EU and Canada could perhaps be looking for other sources and clients.
Well, let's take a check on the day's trading action then, Yuka.
Well, tariff worries and uncertainty continue to weigh on investor sentiment. This Thursday, Wall Street was a sea of red again, with the Dow Jones capping a fourth consecutive losing day and heading for the worst week since 2022. The price of gold, meanwhile, climbed to a fresh record high off the back of a weaker US dollar, hovering just below the $3,000 per ounce mark.
Finally then, in business news, one of the most iconic figures in Italian fashion is stepping down.
That figure is Donatella Versace. She is leaving her position as the main designer for the brand after almost 3 decades. She has been the chief creative officer at Versace, steering the fashion brand since her brother Gianni was killed in 1997. But at 69, she's not going into retirement. She will take on the role of chief brand ambassador of Versace next month. The move comes at a difficult time for the fashion house, as it has fallen behind other European brands. Donatella will be taken over by Dario Vitali, joining the company from Prada's brand Miu Miu. This amid reports that the two companies are close to a merger deal.
You know, I think always there was going to be kind of succession plan for her. And I think actually quite excitingly, her moving into this brand ambassador role, we're probably actually going to see more of her outside of the studio in this placement, which is really what she's so brilliant at, being at the kind of forefront visually of the brand. You know, it feels like a really exciting hire, someone that's got such, you know, design aesthetic.
An end of an era then for this brand.
She's synonymous with the brand, really, isn't she? Yuka, thanks so much for all of that.